Good afternoon and welcome to Tala Talks, where I share my everyday thoughts and everyday experiences. In today's video, I am so excited to be able to share with you a couple of questions that have been asked to me all throughout my travels, and I've been traveling for the past 6 years. And I was able to summarize all of those questions into 12, and so I'll be dividing this into 3 different videos so that every video will have 4 questions, and I feel like I'll be able to answer them just a little bit more thoroughly. Right now, you and I are so lucky to be in such a beautiful, magical place like this. We've got the mountains right there. If I'm not mistaken, that is Mount Talinis, which is the second highest mountain in Visayas. We've got a beautiful pool here, which is reflecting the sky. Wow! And right across, let me flip the camera so you can see, we are right in front of the beach, baby. I suppose it's very sensible to give a little background about myself. So this is all in context, and you kind of know what's this girl doing traveling for the past 6 years. How is she able to afford, right? And so I'm gonna keep this very short, and I hope to give you the very quick summary. So I've been working a lot in the past, I don't know, just in my 20s. So for more than 10 years, I was in the corporate world. Basically, I left that because I was very burnt out, and thankfully, I was able to have a little bit of savings, reinvested those savings in some funds, and every quarter I do get some income from that, which is just enough to pay for a very budgeted accommodation. And believe it or not, right now, where we are, this is such a beautiful place. This is very budgeted, and I've made a whole video about that, how much it costs, what are included, and yeah, I mean, go check that out if you are curious. It is super affordable. It's around 9,000 pesos per month, but I've definitely gone into detail on the other video, but that's not what this video is about. And so yeah, I haven't really found my groove back into the business corporate world. Maybe I never will again, because I just really love being surrounded by nature at the moment. Originally, I am from the city, and I've just decided to leave, and I've never really looked back. I have no regrets. And so here I am. Let's start this video with the first question. This is definitely a very personal question, and just to let you know, I didn't rehearse any of this, and yeah, what have you learned about yourself through this experience is the first question. Did I get that right? Yeah, well, there's no one thing, but the first thing that pops to my mind is, why didn't I start living this lifestyle earlier? Again, this is only biased to my personal experience, and it also depends on the type of person you are. But for me, I did notice that, especially as a teenager and in my early 20s, I was quite moody. And I felt like something was wrong, and apparently I am the very outdoorsy type. Had my mom, who was very much of a city girl, and my dad as well, had they like just thrown me into an island where I could go camping with other like-minded people, I probably would have not been as moody as I was. Again, I have no regrets, and I'm very grateful of my kind of childhood. But I didn't realize all those things when I was young, and I can only imagine that nature will only give a lot of benefits to kids growing up, I suppose. But you know, then when you get older, you end up deciding if you want to continue to live in nature or, you know, live in the city. I don't know if you can hear the sounds of the crickets, but it's quite beautiful at the moment. But what did I learn about myself is, I definitely am an outdoorsy person. I do appreciate my peace and my serenity, and I also realized that in order to be healthy overall, not just physically, but like mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Every day I do have to sleep early. If I can, try to sleep within the good hours, and they say the good hours is between 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. So if you get as much of those hours in your sleep, you're good. But the later you sleep, the less you get of those good hours. And again, this is only based from how I have noticed in terms of how I operate. So if I get enough, I need my sleep, I need good exercise every day. A lot of this is really hard work, when you put in the hours to maintain yourself, and I'm sure you know that you aren't a machine, right? You really have to put the hours, eating right, sleeping well, meditating for me is important, and working out, getting your body moving. I'm not gonna get so scientific because I'm not good in that topic, but from what I know is the parasympathetic system, or which is the lymphatic system also, like all of that is what is needed in order to reduce the cortisol levels, which is like the stress hormone. And basically, if you get all of those things right, then you will live a more quality life. And I always go back to the quality of life. I guess when I was younger, I used to think, oh, it's about money, it's about earning, and like owning a bunch of things that I can show off. And I am definitely not that person anymore. So that's what I've learned. I'm a changed person. By the way, there are about at least 5 mango trees there, and we are so lucky to be able to get mangoes every other day. Now, these kinds of mangoes aren't like the ones that you normally are used to seeing in the supermarket. They're a bit tinier. I think they're Indian mangoes. I should show you. I actually did show this in in a couple of my videos. But the next question is, and let me read it just so that I can get it right. How has living on the island influenced your perspective on environmental issues? It's gonna seem a bit hypocritical for me to answer this because I think traveling, especially riding planes, emits so much carbon dioxide. If I'm not mistaken, it is dioxide. And well, for one thing is I definitely prefer to use less plastic. I bring my own lock and locks, and I definitely support local markets too. If I can stay away from ingredients or food that I know have come from a long way, it's not going to be sustainable because that leaves a lot of carbon footprint. So as much as possible, I definitely go to the local markets, buy from farmers. And since I go diving in this ocean, like this is where it all began actually. I started going to Negros Oriental about 6 years ago, and since then I've just been on this traveling cycle. The travel bug has never left me. And so because I see a lot of plastic when I go diving, and like getting all the sachets, and it can be sad because that is from land, that is from human, and why put it in the ocean, which is their world, it's not our world, and why are we trashing that? Oh man, I'll give one example. I do remember I went diving in Batangas, which is over at Luzon. Yeah, Batangas is very popular. You've got places there like Tagaytay, which is also very popular. But I do remember when I got off the boat and the boatman was there, he threw his cigarette butt into the ocean, and to me that was very shocking and I asked him why. Of course I spoke in Filipino, and I said, why are you throwing that? Why are you trashing the ocean? This is your livelihood. Why would you want to dirty something that is your source of income? And I do remember him just like giving me a very nonchalant stare, like a very just no reaction. I'm not sure if he understood me. I'm pretty sure he did because we spoke the same language. And as much as possible, as infuriated as I can get, the best to be calm and to really use logic. But I don't know if logic is going to help. I think most of the times, the uneducated ones about the sea, they're just worrying about what to eat, how to feed their families next, how to earn money, and I totally understand that. And on my end, the goal is how to not sound preachy, but how to sound more relatable. And for sure, it's definitely influenced a lot of my impressions, like movies like Jaws, where they make sharks seem like the baddies, but they're really not. They're so good for the ecosystem, and you need sharks. They actually clean the air and give us oxygen. We get a lot of our oxygen from the sea. So, you know, without the sea, without clean seas and sharks and, you know, everything is, we're all existing because of each other. Everything is connected. So yeah, I don't know if that answers the questions. Quite a lot. I'm gonna end that. Let's go to the next question. Okay, let me read this one. Are there any specific sustainability practices or initiatives you've become involved with? I do feel like I've answered that previously, but to let you know, I've actually met a bunch of amazing women over at the place where I do yoga, and they are staying in this place called MCP, and it's been very popular here, which stands for Marine Conservation Philippines. And they are there to go diving in the seas and to, I don't know, measure how much of the zones that of the what do you call, the coral zones, or oh no, what do you call it, like the, what's it called? Basically, the floors of the ocean. Am I making sense? Like how much of that should be protected areas? If you ask me, all of it should be, but there's a lot of fishermen here as well, and I do hope that there aren't any overfishing. I've also went to this place called Danhugan Island. Some people call it Danjugan Island, which is just over at across Bacolod area, if I'm not mistaken. It's quite a nice place there. You should really check it out. They teach you all about the marine conservation. Oh, I've also worked with marine wildlife of the marine wildlife of the Philippines. Am I correct? No. Okay, now I remember. Marine Wildlife Watch of the Philippines. Go follow them on Facebook and Instagram, but I do know it's only one guy who's behind it, and without you, Mr. AA or Dr. AA, like who's gonna take over this? Basically, it is what the title is. It's they're watching the marine wildlife of the Philippines, and they aim to educate people about our marine creatures here, how to protect them, how to, it's and also if there are illegal trades like selling shark fins and things that you shouldn't be buying in the market, they do report that as well. And AA has been doing such a great job in his posts and educating a lot of people. And so we did, my previous company, we did make their merch. So we made some t-shirts for them that they can use for free, of course. We had a lot of fundraising as well, and yeah, I mean, I do what I can, basically. And I hope some of the things that I've mentioned here you will be interested in. Yeah, let me know if you ever plan to get involved. Let's go to the next question, because after this we have to head over to yoga. Like literally, we're gonna be late. Wow, I actually like this next question because there's really not much to say about it. Is how did your we've got a friend. We've got a friend. Hey, are you friendly? Yes, you are. He's got a waggy tail. Where's Blackie? Where's Blackie? I can tell he wants to go near. He's just not sure. You want to go near? Next question is, and he's gonna be part of this video, how did your career path change after moving to the island? And there's really not much to say this, because what career? So as I've mentioned, I did leave my corporate life and never looked back since then. And right now I'm just living off. Oops, sorry, the umbrella almost flew because it's been raining. I brought it just in case. I've never looked back since then, and since I've really been hoping to perhaps create another business while traveling, it's just never happened. I've tried making some investments in land. I got duped. Is that a word? Yeah, so I went to look at some land here, and the owner agreed on one price, and after I personally paid for the geodetic engineer who does the land surveying and checking to see if it's really, you know, like the declared number of square meter and things like that. After I paid for that, the owner of the land decided to increase the price, and you know, I could cite so many instances where I was almost there to have a more stable career path and it didn't happen. But you know, I accept that very easily these days, and it really comes with doing a lot of meditation, sleeping right, eating well, having exercises. My mind is a lot clearer. I'm not as stressed as I used to be. I don't overthink as much. But I always tell myself, you know, if it's not meant for me, it's just, you know, it's hard to force something. Then in the end, it might not work out. So even though I like it or I want it so much, but if it's just not meant for me, then there's a better path. And it's letting go of control and trusting. Like trusting and having faith is something that is very crucial and in terms of having this kind of lifestyle, especially when things can be very spontaneous and when things don't make sense in terms of financial stability. You know, I'm not saying money is everything, because you know, there are other forms of wealth, which is like wealth in relationships, wealth in your health. But I do, or everyone does need money somehow as a tool if you want to pay for, I don't know, medicine or, I don't know, transportation. Like, you know, it's a tool, right? But yeah, what's the question again? How has it changed in terms of career? Yeah, there's no career, and I'm just very open-minded and open-hearted at this point. And I'm hoping and I'm excited to see what turns up. I would like to do something in terms of growing food. During the pandemic, I was growing basil and pechay and a bunch of other edible stuff, and I am such a fan of growing food. So if given the chance, I would like to do something in terms of that. Growing my own fresh produce, feeding everybody. I also love having guests and friends around. I love hosting. I enjoy having good energy, good vibes around. So I would love to do something in that sphere. But anyway, I'm gonna end the video here, and I hope this was quite insightful, and I hope it made sense. And if it didn't, let me know. And if it did, I'd love to hear from you as well. But yeah, cheers from this beautiful magical paradise called Negros Oriental. And I hope to see you in the next video, and I hope you felt nothing but love and good vibes from the screen and from me. Ciao for now, and see you soon.